5-Round MMA.
A different view to MMA.
Gotta watch that 5-Round MMA, y'all.
Welcome, everyone. This is 5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my co-host Albert Cita, and we're waiting for Guillermo to call in. Shoot him a text message, but I'm sure he has like father duties to worry about. He has a great 2 up-and-coming soccer stars, so he's probably like there.
LS8.
Yeah,
look him up.
He's probably out there
YouTube.
like focusing all his attention on them and just forgetting about this podcast that I guess
investment,
I don't know, whatever. We got a lot to talk about this show. Well, actually, not a lot to talk about. I was kind of trying to build it up, but UFC Austin recap. Talk about. I want to pose a question about Donald Cerrone being one of the greatest fighters of all time. What's next for Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast? Ben Askren calls out GSP, or makes a prediction rather, and also UFC Fight Night preview, Emmett versus Stevenson. So let's get started with round number 1.
Boom.
UFC Austin took place on Sunday because of the Monday holiday, President's Day. Main event, Donald Cerrone versus Yancy Medeiros. Donald Cerrone, the first round finish, pretty good. I think he became he's on the top now, the winningest fighter in UFC history, or the most finishes.
The most finishes. I think he's just tied with Anderson Silva and somebody else.
I think GSP or
GSP
or wins. I think overall wins, I guess, too. So I guess all this, a storied resume, a guy out there who was a former WC champion. Was he, or did he fight for the title? I look up Donald Cerrone's credentials.
I think he never won the belt. I think that was the whole thing. He fought for it and lost. Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to propose a question here too. Is in the case of Donald Cerrone's career, is quantity better than quality? Mm-hmm. Is he one of the greatest fighters of all time? Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer for what he's done. Fights, every weekend if he wants, if he has to.
He's certainly one of the most entertaining fighters I have ever seen. Yeah. In the history of MMA, I feel 100% comfortable saying that he was one of the most entertaining fighters.
Is the most though.
Yeah. But I don't know about going as far as to say one of the greatest MMA fighters,
because he's never held UFC gold, never been a UFC champion.
That's the thing. He can always get to the dance. He just could never finish. Yeah. And it's like Charles Barkley. How can you put Charles Barkley in the same sentence as Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How can you put him in that sentence when the guy never won a championship? Was he an entertaining player? Yeah. Was he a talented player? Yeah. Yeah. And I think that Donald Cerrone fits in the same category. It just sucks that there's just he never got through the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Yancy Medeiros. This is off of a 3-fight losing streak with Darren Till, Robbie Lawler, Jorge Masvidal. I mean, the guys he's beaten up on, Matt Brown, Rick Story, Patrick Cote, Alex Oliveira, John McDessie. He's beaten Benson Henderson, but he's lost to guys like Rafael Dos Anjos twice actually. He's lost to guys like Anthony Pettis. He's lost to Nate Diaz. He lost twice to Benson Henderson before beating him time. So it's kind of like you said, he's there. But when he comes on to get that next, over that threshold of maybe getting to a title shot, getting that gold around his waist, he always comes up short. But then I also can't take away from as much damage as he's done in the UFC. So I guess he is a Hall of Famer, but to be kept in that same conversation as like a George St. Pierre or not even like Frankie Edgar, right? Because Frankie Edgar's a champion. Yeah. So there's that tier of champions, and then there's that tier of guys who maybe didn't get it right. I'm just trying to figure out, because obviously Donald Cerrone is right now 34 years old, but he's like a rough 34. Got a lot of miles on him.
he has the Nogueira complex.
Yeah, so it's kind of like these conversations are going to happen now. Like, where is he at? Especially now with having with the most finishes in UFC history and the most wins are up there. I say like Michael Bisping, you have your career is in the UFC a lot, but it's quantity over quality. Where a guy who had a short run like a Brock Lesnar had a short run, but man, those are pretty quality fights, right?
But yet he won the championship. Though. Yeah, that's crazy to think that Brock Lesnar, who had a way short career than Donald Cerrone, I feel is in a higher
threshold.
Yeah, then Donald
Pillar.
Cerrone. Yeah, and it might be just because two things. One, the guy's a freak of nature. Yeah. And the other thing is he actually won the belt.
So what's next for him? I think now he's ranked number 11 now. I think was he in the top 10?
It's so tough because he's not even that old. Yeah. He's like you said, he's 34. We thought he found a new division, and then he drops 3.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him at 155. I never liked him at 155.
Yeah, he's actually calling for 165 division now too.
I mean, Diego Sanchez has always said that there should be those type of divisions, and I always agree too. I have no problem with making those. I got a problem when it's like 2 pounds different.
155, 158.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, he's so popular that I can see Dana White bending over and saying, you know what, 165 doesn't look that bad.
For the Cowboy division?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because you got the 155 and the next one's 170. That's like a big gap. So maybe 165, you can get some new fresh air. Maybe get Betsy Harrison back in here. Nate Diaz, maybe, who's kind of in those in-betweeners. Diego Sanchez. You know, those guys out there who are all kind of in between in that one division. So that's it for round number 1. We're going to come back and talk about the rest of UFC Austin, more specifically the Black Beast and the promo he cut afterwards as well. So do not go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. Now that we kind of have Donald Cerrone's future all laid out for him, right, and his legacy and all, so we kind of ended that. Let's talk about the rest of UFC Fight Night in Austin on Saturday. Co-main event, Derrick Lewis. Takes care of Mr. Marcin Tabora in the third round, 2 minutes 48 seconds with a TKO. Looks like he was losing that fight. What do you think, Derrick Lewis?
I wouldn't say losing.
He was behind in the scorecards.
He was in a horrible position after that second round.
Yeah.
I can't believe how flat he was on his back, and I thought it was game over.
Yeah,
the whole time I was very bummed out. I was like, man, not again, Black Beast. I want you to win, and he was looking like he was in big trouble.
I guess it's come from behind victory, and then he calls out his wife and says he's going to go in deep tonight. And at post fight, he says he's going to go ahead and enter round number 4 with her. So Derrick Lewis, classic. He bounced back nicely from his TKO loss to Mark Hunt. Now, is he automatically back up there now with the elite? Do they maybe do Francis Ngannou? I think Brandon Schaub kind of like he's some sort of genius. Said, Ngannou versus Lewis, like, you're welcome. Like, we haven't been discussing that on this show for months. Anyway, so it's are they still kind of holding him back a little bit? Did they save him? Because he's entertaining.
Yeah. To me, it just like it sucks that the heavyweight division, there's really nobody there to watch, and it sucks too because like I want to keep seeing Derrick Lewis, but if it's just too early, I think, for the Ngannou matchup.
You don't want to bury 2 of your top prospects.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, and I have no problem with Derrick Lewis climbing just fact, I thought Junior Dos Santos sounded like a better name to me.
Yeah,
just because Junior has one step out, and I think he needs to show that he can either keep hanging with this division or he pretty much become
an alternate at the U.S. Belfort Grand Prix.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was a better name to call. Kind
of matchup. Yeah,
Lewis. I think Francis Ngannou just has to have one big name to get back in the title picture. Because the way heavyweight division is. So honestly, I think the next thing for Derrick Lewis is someone like that, like Junior Dos Santos.
No, I agree. I don't think I think you have to hold out Ngannou versus Derrick Lewis fight just because you don't want to bury. Those are the 2 guys people kind of hopeful for.
2019.
Yeah,
I see it.
Because Ngannou looks so bad against Stipe Miocic that you don't want to bury him against. And then, obviously, whoever wins that fight between Lewis and Ngannou, one of them's going to take a step back. And I don't think you want that. You got to build them up. So hopefully the UFC and Sean Shelby is patient enough to...
And then at the same time, I think the heavyweight division might get exciting pretty soon with the whole DC versus Stipe.
Yeah.
Just the fact that if DC wins, I mean...
fresh matchups.
Yeah, I mean, it opens up the whole division. And I can see Francis getting back up there quickly. I can see Derrick Lewis getting up there quick. I can see Alistair Overeem getting back over there quick. Just because the matchups are so fresh, so new, you want to see how DC does with different types of heavyweight fighters. Because, Stipe is one type. Alistair Overeem's a completely different type. Then you got a monster like Francis. You know what I'm saying? Then you got someone like Derrick Lewis. I mean, there's so much you can even switch up. I would like to see him against Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt just lost.
Yeah.
And I want to see that.
Yeah. Hopefully that we'll see some change of the guard here in the UFC heavyweight division. So let's go back to the UFC Austin card. Anything else kind of stick out with you? Your boy Chase Northcutt, unanimous decision victory. Is he doing himself any favors getting all these decision victories?
No. And it was a very controversial decision.
Back-to-back unanimous decision victories.
And that's my boy. Yeah. That was a controversial decision right there. But his wrestling looked good. I think it's pretty self-explanatory what's going on here. And I call it the Brock Lesnar paradox.
Okay.
The Brock Lesnar paradox.
Okay, please explain.
These guys went through their whole life without really getting punched in the face, and then when they receive it, they freak out.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Brock Lesnar. I will never disrespect you, Brock. You are my boy.
So we did the Braun Strowman, the Royal Rumble.
But yeah, if you watch the fight, I think Sage is so good. And then he gets tagged, and he almost goes into shock mode, in panic mode. And if he would just like relax and chill, I think he would win all his fights very easily.
Yeah. Well, with 21 years old, right? Going to be 21, 22. After entering the UFC with 2 back-to-back finishes, TKO, and then a submission, then he gets choked out.
He's in a good position.
Yeah, obviously.
I think the decision wins haven't been the most entertaining fights, but he's still in a good position. He's in a winning position, and he's finally figuring out that the 155 is a better fit for him. Mm-hmm. He's only 21 years old. We didn't see Conor peak until he was like 25, so there's plenty of time for this kid, and I just think it's all uphill here.
Is he another guy who maybe benefit from 165 division?
I think so. Because
so if Donald Cerrone,
honestly, that's a heck of a matchup right there. Donald Cerrone versus Sage Northcutt.
Or if instead of saying, "Hey, Dana White, create a 165 division so I could fight in," "Hey, Dana White, create a 165 or Sage Northcutt." He's like, "What? Of course. Why don't you say it that way from the beginning?" Diego who? Cowboy who? You mean I can protect my boy Sage even more at 165? Let's do it. That's it for round number 2. We're gonna come back and switch things up. Talk about rumors and innuendo. Talk about one of my favorite podcasts in the wrestling world, Something to Wrestle With. Rumor and innuendo. We're going to deal here with that. Coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 3. What people say the greatest welterweight to never compete in the UFC, Ben Askren.
Ben Askren, period.
Yep. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast not that long ago. Actually, pretty interesting. You guys should hear it. He kind of said he's kind of semi-retired, but he's looking for that big money fight. Joe Rogan asked him about Tyron Woodley. He said, nope, I've known the guy for 20 years. Not going to happen. But he was very open to GSP. And actually, Ben Askren was on MMA Junkie not that long ago and said that, you know what? He said, quote, "My motivation is to prove I'm number 1 in the world. I think it would happen at the Bell Center." Talk about GSP. "I think it would happen at the Bell Center in Montreal, me versus GSP, probably somewhere in late 2019. I don't need to make any more money from fighting, and there's only one thing left to prove. I've been number 1 for the past 5 years, and I've unfortunately never had the chance to prove that fight. It's the one thing that interests me." End quote. Very specific. He even named location, the year. He didn't give a month or a date, but that's very Nostradamus of him, Ben Askren. So, what do you think about this, and do you think it's going to happen?
One thing that has always stood out for me as far as Ben Askren is how intelligent the guy really is. Yeah. The guy has a head on his shoulders. One of the most intelligent MMA fighters I ever listened to. With that said, he has the perfect game plan to get GSP. Enough time, which GSP needs, right? He got the perfect location.
Canada.
Which I think...
Montreal.
Which I think
Montreal.
Everyone always complains about. It's a perfect location. Right?
Yeah.
And the third thing is he's calling out the right fighter. Like he said, why would he fight...
respectfully, too, by the way.
Yeah, respectfully, too. Why would he fight Tyron Woodley when that's his buddy, right? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing really to prove there, right? Let's keep it real.
He's not calling it Diaz, brother.
Yeah. And,
or Conor McGregor, right?
Yeah, and apparently he already made his money.
Yeah.
So he isn't desperate for like the names out there, like the Diaz's and whatever.
Yeah.
He's looking for something bigger than that.
To literally prove who's the best welterweight of all time.
And to me, I don't know how you cannot respect that. I don't know how Dana White doesn't even give it a thought, because he's not out there to make, the money fights. Yeah. He legit wants to prove he is the best mixed martial artist, and I think everyone can respect that. Everyone can get behind that, and everybody wants to see that. Yeah. The whole point of UFC and MMA was to see who really is the baddest of the bad, right? Yeah. Like you want to see if someone were to get in a scrap, who would really win. Yeah. And I don't know how you deny this matchup. Yeah. It has all the perfect scenarios, I think. Yeah,
when I heard him on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he kind of went into like why Joe asked him like, straight up, why aren't you in the UFC? He's like, I don't think Dana White likes me, and he kind of went into it, not too good deal. But then Dana White Joe Rogan didn't want to go into it because obviously he's boys with Dana White, so they want to let's just stop talking about it, and they kind of switch gears. But hopefully it does happen. I mean, like I said, maybe it's just like a one and done. And he said that Zuffa told him, we'll sign you, but go fight one time in the World Series of Fighting. and then we'll bring you in. He's like, that's a weird. He's like, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. And the next thing you know, no, we're done off the table. No more fights for you, or the contract's off the table. So it's kind of weird. So who knows? Maybe as long as Dana White's in charge, we'll never see Ben Askren for some reason. And he said, like, straight up, I don't think Dana White likes me. So who knows if it's going to happen or not? I think if it does happen, it's going to be on GSP's end to demand it, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully, I see it does. Hopefully, it does happen because these are the two top welterweights in the past 10 years.
And I'll give you another reason why I think GSP would take the fight and would ask for it specifically. I think GSP is also an intelligent MMA fighter, very smart guy, despite that he loses where he's at sometimes and sees aliens. But with that said, one thing that's always been his issue, he doesn't like to take a big load of punishment. Right? And I think that's why he took the Michael Bisping fight, knowing that he wasn't going to take that much punishment because he knew the right recipe to beat Michael Bisping.
Of course.
Ben Askren, as great as he isn't known for a guy to... you don't see no highlight reels of Ben Askren killing his opponent. You know what I'm saying? And even if GSP were to get in the losing effort of this, it would be like something like a TKO. It would be something like it happens in the ground.
Stoppage,
where it's less likely that he would get that much punishment, which I think that's something that's big on GSP's mind. And just that alone, I think the risk factor, he's like, you know what? I'll take this fight.
I think Ben Askren even said, like, in 2016, 2017, he didn't get hit once in any of his fights. Fought 3 times, he didn't get hit once. So, hopefully it does kind of happen. We'll see. How much time I got? 17 seconds. I would want to see it. I think it's the only fight I would want to see GSP take next. Is this because it's going to literally prove who's the best welterweight in the past 10 years?
And honestly, I can care less about him facing Tyron Woodley. No. I can care less for that Diaz rematch.
No.
And I do not want to see him in middleweight. I think he proved what he had to prove. Stay the heck out.
And there's no need for the Conor McGregor fight because we don't know that that's going to happen anyways because he's going to get on the ground and Conor McGregor's, that's it. So, hopefully, I think it's the two of the league because every other top welterweight has kind of fallen from the greats. Johnny Hendricks, John Finch, Jake Shields. Who else am I missing? I mean, every other guy who's kind of supposedly going to be the next guy. I mean,
Okami, if you
maybe Rory McDonald, maybe. But he's in Bellator, so I guess okay, either GSP or you go back to Bellator and fight Roy McDonald. That's what I'm hoping for Ben Askren. So that's it for round number 3. We're gonna take a small break and come back and enter the championship rounds. But let's talk about one of all of our sponsors actually, Dioxyme. Starting with Dioxyme supplements with Mortals. Great workout supplements. Their products are there for the active lifestyle to improve athletic performance and provide health benefits. All their supplements meet the strict QSE standards. Each ingredient has been proven effective and always used for pharmaceutical dosage. No gimmicks because they care about results. That's Dioxyme, Dioxyme supplements. Like them on all forms of social media. And tell them 5 Round MMA sent you. Also, big shout out to our longtime sponsor, 5 Rounds Clothing Lines. 5 Rounds offers a unique collection of MMA apparel and accessories by incorporating the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts. They are constantly evolving and proven to become the best fightwear company in the MMA world. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at 5 Rounds. So on Twitter at 5 Rounds Underwear and then on Instagram, at 5 Rounds _ and also at 5rounds.net. That's 5rounds.net, number 5rounds.net. And also a big shout out to our good friends, great partners at FightBookMMA.com, the only place you'll find real combat news from all over the world. A website you can trust with accurate news from MMA, kickboxing, boxing to local promotions, UFC, King of the Cage, Bellator. It's all there under one roof. A great podcast section, a well of collection of combat sports podcasts. Do yourself a favor and just bookmark FightBookMMA.com. Make it your go-to source for combat news, sports, and also a great shout out to our good friends, Dos Leprechauns Podcast. Leprechaun Nate, Leprechaun Jason. Cover all things Notre Dame football, mixed martial arts, professional wrestling, sports, pop culture. Dos Leprechauns Podcast. Like them on all forms of social media and follow them on Facebook. Dos Leprechauns Podcast. Championship rounds coming next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for the 4th round. Let's enter the championship round. So let's talk about, I guess, what other news and notes, I guess. Machida versus Vitor Belfort is pretty much confirmed. I think everything but the contract needs to be signed. How do you like that fight?
I love that fight. I want to see my boy Lyoto win as much fights as possible before he rides off to the sunset. I think this is a perfect matchup just because, one, Vitor is not juiced up. So I like that. The other thing is... Machida does best at countering, right? And I think Vitor is a very aggressive fighter, a very aggressive stand-up. and I think that plays into his game. And when we see that playing to his game, we see Machida at his best, and we see those highlight reel Machida knockouts.
Yeah.
And so I like it. And even if, let's say, even if my boy Machida does not win the fight, I still like the matchup because Vitor has just not been performing well at all. So, and Vitor is actually an awesome fighter. I think regardless of the TRT use, he was always an entertaining fighter.
So this fight is scheduled to take place at UFC 224 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on May 12th. And I guess Vitor Belfort released like a whole statement on saying like why he's going to fight a friend. He said, "And over my 20 years in the real
Brazilians are friends.
They're all friends, right?" The reason why I chose to fight a friend of mine, an athlete that I have a lot of respect, a good person, a family man, I'm against the so famous trash talk. MMA is a sport that myself and a lot of family men work really hard to support our families. Lyoto and I have known each other for many years. I know his family, and we have trained together. I wanted to take this fight in Brazil because this is where everything started, and now it's time for us to send another message to the world, and the message is respect. Then there's more going on. You can probably find it online if you want. So basically, he's fighting a friend. And a little caption too. Him and Machida training together. They're both kind of jacked, actually. If you look at the photo, I think this is poor. This is pre USADA.
Pre USADA.
Yeah, dude, Belfort looks jacked in this photo. So is Machida too. So I guess it's kind of like friendship, I guess. Kind of.
The crazy part is
this a loser leave talent match? Is a loser done?
Yeah,
loser leaves town.
It has to be, and it's crazy because they're both coming off of a win.
Yeah,
which is mind blowing.
But one of them's got to go.
But yeah, I really do think this is a loser leaves match.
Yeah.
Just because we've seen the best of both guys already. And I don't think it's going to get any better. Yeah. And at the same time, age is a big thing. People don't know this, but Lil Machida is pretty old. Yeah. He's not a young lad. Yeah. Even though for some reason there's a perception that he's like in his middle of his career. No, he's clearly in the tail end of his career. But yeah, I like it. Yeah. If anything, I hope this is the first match of many to lead to this legacy league. And I think this is a good legacy league. Oh, yeah, legacy league. Also, in other news, Will Brooks, former Bellator lightweight champion, who was supposed to come in the UFC and make a big splash, didn't do that. Has been released. He announced on Wednesday, I think the day after Valentine's Day. Or the day before, I don't know, whatever the day was, that he has been released from his UFC contract and has signed on to compete in the former World Series of Fighting, now the Professional Fight League, to compete in their $1 million tournament. So he said, quote, "I'm extremely excited to be fired up as part of the PFL and their rebirth. The timing is perfect because I'm in my own rebirth process as well. As always, I'm going to represent the organization as professionally and as possibly as I can. I look forward to being a pivotal part of the PFL's growth in this sport," end quote. Are you sad about Will Brooks' release, or just kind of like, what? That's a big disappointment, isn't it? Yeah, I'm more sad about the potential loss. I remember how excited I got when he signed with the UFC, especially after his huge matches with Michael Chandler. I thought he was just gonna rock this division and just freaking shatter the glass ceiling with UFC. Yeah. And after fight after fight, it was just disappointment. And I'm more sad that I didn't get to see the potential I thought we were gonna see. And I looked dumb because I bought into the Will Brooks.
You got hyped up, bro.
That he was really gonna make a huge impact. But hey, man, good for him. He gets to get part of something awesome too. I think it's a tournament that I think a lot of hardcore MMA fans are gonna be looking forward to. And I'm all about tournament mode now in MMA. I think Belfort hyped me up with their Grand Prix heavyweight. And I'm just hyped over any MMA tournament now.
Yeah, it's actually the PFL is going to start I think later this year. I have no idea. So, but they have a TV deal still, so they're not like he's not going back to local casinos or he's going to fight on national television again. So, I mean, just a step back, maybe to eventually go back to UFC. So that's it for round number 4. We got one more round coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for the 5th and final round. And finally, we have on the phone Guillermo Machida. Guillermo, how's it going, man?
Good morning, guys. Man, I'm at Epcot, enjoying this beautiful 80-degree weather. It's my son's birthday. Sorry, guys. I couldn't dial in right away.
You know, you didn't put that out. His uncle, Albert, didn't bring that. We've gone through 4 rounds. Didn't even bring that up. I asked him, like,
Damn you, Albert.
I asked him, where could Gamble be? I don't know where it could be at.
For some reason, I always think October, but it's his other son that's October.
My oldest.
Yeah. But for some reason, I'm just stuck with October. Like
You're like the uncle. You don't even care.
I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm a horrible uncle. I'm not even gonna say it.
So, Gamble, you have just in time to talk to. We're going to preview the UFC Fight Night events. Emmett versus Stevenson's coming up next on the 24th of February. I guess a crucial featherweight bout? Question mark.
You know who Jeremy Stevens is. Don't act like you don't know.
I know who he is, but
But the thing is, Jeremy Stevens. I mean, yes, if he wins, he stays relevant. But with Jeremy Stevens, it's been known that he'll go on this streak, and then right when he gets that top contender status is when he usually falters and it's back to the drawing board.
I'm thinking from the promos I saw on Sunday night was I think the UFC's kind of banking a little more, at least a good solid run here on Josh Emmett, who is 32 years old, but he is coming off that big knockout loss to Ricardo Lamas. I mean, knockout win against Ricardo Lamas. Sorry, still in denial there.
Didn't he come in overweight on that fight though?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was a catchweight bout. So. But I think the fact that he has Team Alpha Male in his corner, they keep...
And there's no big alpha male out there right now.
No.
So.
I mean, Cody Garbrandt.
Sage Northcutt, duh.
Oh, yeah, Sage Northcutt. Yeah. But they keep repeating that whole thing that he said, well, Uriah Faber keeps telling me I'm the best fighter in the world, just nobody knows it yet. Uriah Faber keeps telling me I'm the best fighter in the world, but nobody knows it yet. So I guess the UFC does see a story there. I mean, I'm not too sure who they're kind of banking on, or if not, or they just want to kind of throw away... Fight Night main event. It's not. I mean, the winner of this fight is not going to be a huge needle mover because they're not going to get anywhere near the 145, the top 3. I mean, they're not going to. The winner's not going to face Frankie Edgar, Brian Ortega, or Max Holloway. So it's kind of maybe to kind of stay where they're at. I think, anyways. What about you, Albert? What do you think? What's the outcome of this fight?
I honestly think
what's going to happen to the winner of this fight?
I honestly think it's a title eliminator. Just
what? Okay.
I honestly believe that because in the featherweight division, there's not much out there to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And even though the Frankie and Brian Taylor match is technically the #1 contender fight, I think this one has title implications in it, or at least you're gonna fight either or loser out of that. A title eliminator, the first round contender fight, or the championship fight potentially.
Yeah.
And keep in mind too, Jeremy Stevens, even though he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights, he has 2 quality wins over Gilbert Melendez and of course Don Honchoy. So he has quality wins under his belt.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, I think Emmett's the one with the highest stock around here. Just because
he's fresh.
He's fresh, yeah.
Yeah. Real quick too, also on this card, Jessica Andrade versus Tisha Torres.
Forget about
Can
my
I go
girl
back
Sarah
on the
McMahon.
Josh Emmett?
Go back.
Like,
Yeah.
A couple episodes ago, we debated about how you're gonna reward Yoel Romero when he missed weight, and yet it seems like Albert's rewarding Emmett for missing weight. It's like,
but let's not forget that Yoel Romero has also failed a drug test.
So Josh Emmett has 1 more strike, according to Albert. Yeah. Also on this card, Jessica Andrade versus Tisha Torres, OSP versus Lair Latif. Your boy Mac Perry is back on the main card.
Platinum Perry, baby.
Wow. I haven't heard about this card.
Henry Barral is also the prelim feature against Brian Keller, Sarah McMahon versus Marin Renault. But also former guest Sam Alvey on this show. Again,
Joe Bond, don't forget.
Yeah, again, real quick too. On the first round, we kind of debated Donald Cerrone. Now I think after his win on Friday against Yancy Medeiros, he has I think the most finishes in UFC history, and it's up there with the most wins in UFC history. Is he kind of now Is he one of the greatest fighters of all time?
What was the question again?
Cowboy Cerrone. I think it's more of a question of quantity over quality, right? Because obviously he's going to go to the UFC Hall of Fame, but is he one of the greatest fighters of all time, do you think? Or is he kind of that tier below?
That tier below? I mean, he never got the
title.
Top echelon, which is the championship. How do you define the best of the best? Is that they have championships belt, even if you go to any other sport, if they have championship trophies.
Yeah.
That's how you define it. Didn't you guys watch Players Only with Kobe Bryant?
Heck yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You define legendary by the trophies you gain. Come on, guys. We all know this.
I said earlier, and see if you agree with me. I say he was the Charles Barkley of MMA.
Yeah, you know what? I can see that. The problem with Donald Cerrone is he just bought himself more time to lead cards. I mean, I felt like if he lost, that was it of Donald Cerrone.
Yeah.
I still think there's a couple of main events he can. Well, he stays relevant. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think about it now too. I think what's unique about him is he's kind of created his own legacy now with the whole, being able to fight whenever, step in the last minute, the whole cowboy persona, literally a cowboy coming into your town, going to shoot it up and leave. So I think maybe that's his legacy. His legacy is he created his own legacy. So so that's it for that. Real quick, Derrick Lewis, Guillermo cutting a promo saying he called his wife after his win, say, hey, honey, I'm going to go deep tonight. Thoughts real quick on Derrick Lewis getting back the win column.
Well, the thing is, it was very disappointing. I would expect more of a killer instinct, especially what we saw. Who did he lose to? Alistair Overeem?
No, Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt. What we saw in that fight is that he wasn't ready for that top echelon, right?
Yeah.
The guy he beat, I can't even pronounce his name.
Marcin Tabora.
Tabora. He was ranked too. But it was a poor showing. I mean, like, if you're talking about the elite, and this is what separated Derrick Lewis from Ngannou, because to me, they came out kind of at the same time. Is Ngannou had that killer instinct where I feel Derrick Lewis is all fun and games, which is good, but how can I take the guy serious once he's messing around, joking after the fight, and then it was a poor performance. I thought he was losing the fight if he didn't pull off that knockout.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think the UFC still has to be patient with Derrick Lewis. I mean, there's plenty of fight night cards you can main event. Keep him as far away from Francis Ngannou as possible. Albert said JDS. You like that for him next?
Hell no. If I'm Dana White, I give him another cupcake, and I'd be like, dude, no more messing around. You take this serious.
First round finish.
Yeah, first round finish, and then I can give you back to JDS and the Alistair Overeems and the top echelon kind of guys.
Yeah. All right, Guillermo, that's it for this edition of FiveRoundMMA. Albert, you got anything you want to close out with? No?
Just that I'm glad we didn't have that much out of you issues this time around.
Yeah, until then, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. That's FIVE-RoundMMA. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, and YouTube. And visit FiveRoundMMA.com. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. And if you're interested in sponsoring this podcast, shoot us an email at FiveRoundMMA@gmail.com. That's FIVE-RoundMMA@gmail.com. We're a great tier option for you for sponsorship inquiries. Guillermo, what do you got?
Nothing. Just want to wish my son a happy 6th birthday today.
Dang, 6 years.
Thanks, man. Oh, yeah, the cream of the crop.
Thanks for tuning